Good afternoon and welcome. We begin this bulletin with our continued coverage of the developing situation in Myanmar, where things remain tense as protesters refuse to back down despite the crackdown by the authorities on the demonstrators who are opposing the military coup in their country. The once peaceful protests have now turned violent, with police and protesters clashing across Myanmar. Over 100 people have been arrested as Myanmar police continue their crackdown on the anti-military protests. On the ground, reports emerging suggest that police have started using live bullets to scare and to disperse the angry crowd. There has been at least one incident where a protester was fatally injured. Protests in Yangon continue for the 5th day, and they gained momentum as the news of a woman being injured via a police gun spread like wildfire.
Our sister got shot with live ammunition yesterday. Her condition is critical right now. Now we see the military is taking brutal action on us. But we, young people, will lead the protest from various groups in every peaceful way. We will keep fighting against the regime under our motto, the military dictatorship must fail.
As we talk about Yangon, on Wednesday, hundreds of people protested against the military crackdown, wearing helmets and carrying the NLD flags. A group of food delivery riders and other cyclists rallied across the city. They chanted anti-coup slogans while displaying the three-finger salute, a symbol now adopted by the anti-coup movement. Myanmar's youth are driving the anti-coup protests. The first experience of public dissent for many. Myanmar's Generation Z is coming up with unique ways to make their voices heard. On your screens are the visuals of a group of protesters sitting outside the Japanese embassy in Yangon in bathtubs. Yes, bathtubs. They are holding banners and shouting slogans condemning the military crackdown.
It's the idea of the young generation. We are always thinking how to be more creative and how to get international attention. I think there will be more ways like that. This protesting in the plastic bathtub was my idea. Others are happy to join, and we do it.
Myanmar's military continues its crackdown on the Aung San Suu Kyi's democratically elected government. On late Tuesday, the military officials ransacked the NLD party headquarters. Witnesses say that the security forces raided the party office right after the night curfew came into effect. Visuals show that emerged later show broken doors, shattered safes and even damaged servers. On the other hand, Myanmar's state television on Tuesday reported that the police suffered serious injuries as they tried to disperse the crowd. They say that the protesters turned violent and even destroyed a police truck in the city of Mandalay. Footage of the aftermath was later aired on state television. It showed injured policemen who claimed to have acted within the ambit of the law. The state broadcast also claimed that the protests are being orchestrated by people who wanted to harm the nation's stability, and all of this with no mention of last week's military coup. Now, the protests continue as the world condemns military's crackdown in Myanmar. All voices demand the restoration of the deposed government and freedom for Aung San Suu Kyi and other detained leaders. This growing defiance comes in a country where the military has previously enjoyed a strong hand, and dissent has been met with deadly force. For a better understanding of the developments in Myanmar, we were earlier joined by journalist Dave Grimbaum. Let's listen into what he had to say.
They do not want to return to how things were just before the coup. They want the military completely out of politics and under civilian control. Keep in mind, this country's current 2008 constitution was drafted by the military. It guarantees them 25% of the seats in parliament, which gives them veto power. They have control of 3 ministries. They control the entire security apparatus in the country. And the demonstrators want to end this. They want a federal system in this ethnically diverse country. Obviously, people are seeing the visuals of the water cannons and the rubber bullets, but it's a long-running tactic in Myanmar when there are demonstrations. I've seen it in years past, where the police hire street thugs to come out and rough up sometimes beat up demonstrators, sometimes just try to provoke them into fights so that there's video of civilians fighting so the police can try and use that as an excuse saying, hey, there's fights going on. We have to break this up because people are hurting each other. We've got to get involved. The generals are keenly aware of these visuals that have been going out around the world. So they want to try to change the narrative here some way. Now, my contacts that I spoke with this morning tell me they saw a small number of street thugs coming out in a few demonstrations yesterday. But the question that they're asking is that a sign of things to come? Are they going to see more of that today and more of that in the days ahead? That's another thing we've really got to keep an eye out for.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.